Haha, back again. FPL War on Shoot the Defense. I'm Stel. I've got Double D again from the D&D Footy Factory. How you doing, young man?
A turbulent week, to be perfectly honest, but I won't bore the viewers, but I'm here, just about.
You need to speak up. I can't even hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you now. There you go.
What about that?
There you go. Lovely. See?
Well,
You got a lovely voice.
maybe it'll be better with headphones.
Possibly. You never know. You never know. But yeah, so it's been because it's been 2 weeks since we last did an FPL pod. Last week was my bad because I was watching Omonia on the Thursday night.
Come on.
First leg against Ghent, which we beat them. And then we did them last night, which was immense. And today we got the Europa League draw. But again, I'm not going to go into that because I've done a pod already and I'm still buzzing off that. So, yeah, we've returned with another episode. Shall we talk about the week before last? I mean, I don't even have the stats up for that. But in a nutshell, how was your...
Game week 2? Don't worry about that.
No, we don't talk about that, no?
It's cool. It never happened. It never actually.
If I speak, I'll be in trouble.
Yeah, you kind of like Arsenal, mate. Yeah.
Oh, my days. All right, well, let's go into this week then, because obviously you've had a better week. I should say last week, just go and see I'm fucking half asleep at the moment. So you had a better week last week. Ward in goal, Robertson, Janssen, Williams. Salah got you 16 points. 16?
Defence did nothing.
Hang about. How did Salah get you 16 points?
Because he's my captain.
He scored against United?
Yeah, he scored against United. The consolation.
It was. Oh, because you get double points, don't you? Oh, fucking hell, see? I'm all over the gaff, son.
Look at this guy.
All over the gaff. I told you, man, I'm half asleep, bruv. Honestly. I'm probably going to fall asleep while you're talking, seriously. So you got Salah, Luis Diaz, Zaha scored. He missed a penalty, though, so you would have got more points.
Zaha got 2, but yeah, lost 2 points for the missed penalty.
Yeah. Madison got on score sheet as well, didn't he?
Yep. Madison's
it wasn't too bad, to be honest, man. It wasn't too bad.
Madison's got a goal contribution in every game so far, mate.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Is it bigger now?
Yeah, mate.
There you go. Shall I reduce it or?
My front three scored.
Even your three, yeah. So you're back on track now. Double.
Not really, because remember, I'm trying to maintain a 63 point. Back on top. I saw what you did there. But remember, I'm trying to hit that 63 average. So even though I got 61 here, I took a -4 to get that team. So I just scraped my head-to-head win by 4 points from my boys Drew from school. But more changes are coming. I've already sent you my team as it stands now at 10. The deadline's in about just under 13 hours. There'll be more changes, put it that way.
Man's going to take the -4. So who's injured that you're going to make a change?
Madison's got a muscle issue. He's 50-50. And then I never heard anything in the press conference, but then I put it on Sky Sports News earlier when I was talking to my mum, and it said Vieira said Wolf Zaha has a knock, and it's not.
Wow.
He's going to start. And I've already made my change this week, as we'll go through later. So if I do make another change, it's another points deduction.
Oh boy.
So
oh boy.
You know, I've got to see what I'm doing. All the strikers.
So, it hasn't really been a good time for you so far with FPL, especially with your team Liverpool.
Boy, this is.
We haven't had this discussion yet, have we?
Huh?
We haven't had this discussion yet, have we? Liverpool, Man United, which I'm sure you're going to do tomorrow on the DD Footy Factory. You're going great depth.
Well, we're meant to be having a bag of guessing tomorrow, so it's going to be torture, and I'm gonna cuss Darren T on air. It's going to sound like hit him up.
What has Darren T done to you? He hasn't done anything.
He's messaging me, giving it the big one. You'd think Tottenham beat us. I think he was an honorary Man United fan for the evening.
Well, maybe he's just excited for the rest of the season because he's supposed to be doing well. What's wrong with that?
They'll probably lose to Nottingham Forest, knowing them. They got passed off the pitch for the first hour.
Oh Jesus! So let's talk about your team then. Let's look at your current team. You've made the 2 changes already, haven't you? So
I made last week. I had 2 free changes, and I made 3.
okay,
The joke was I sold Brendan Johnson to get Ivan Toney in, and then they both scored anyway. But yeah, because Wilson's price was skyrocketing down because he got injured in the game. That's why Chris Wood came on against City. So I've got Mitrovic in because Mitrovic's price is going up. So because Wilson was losing value, I've sold him. But now that I was going to take the -4 earlier, but something told me to just pause because Everson's price has gone down to 3.9 million. So I don't look 4 million. You can barely get anything with 4 million anyway. So if I let it increase any more, it's going to be an issue, and it's not really going to give me any money to sell him. So that was the whole point getting Mitrovic in because that saved 0.8 million. But then I was going to make my change. I've got 3 goalkeepers I'm considering. Either David Raya, who was in my original team before the season started, Robert Sanchez, who since he got the #1 spot from Matt Ryan a couple of seasons ago, has always
been unfallible, isn't he?
Or I wouldn't say it's a curveball, but Leeds have some interesting fixtures coming up. And Melier, even if doesn't get a clean sheet, tends to get a lot of save points. Because his ownership's so low, I'm seriously considering him. I almost pressed confirm earlier, but I paused. And now because I've seen the Zaha thing, that is why my gut was telling me just to pause and just have another think about it. So those are the 3 keepers I make because they're all 4.5 million, and I can easily make that with the money that I've got in the bank from getting Mitrovic in for Wilson. Because I think Mitrovic can cause Arsenal problems. He'll be a different type of forward to what they faced so far because Kiefer Moore is physical and good in the air, but Bournemouth were not good at keeping possession, so he didn't feed him. Fulham will get the ball into Mitrovic, even though I clearly expect Arsenal to dominate possession. And it will be interesting to see how Saliba, Gabriel Lax is good in the air. It'll be interesting to see how they handle him because I think even if Arsenal win, like everyone expects, I definitely think Fulham can score.
There you go. So let's get it straight. Zaha could be out, you say. Madison looks like he's going to be out.
Exactly.
So that's -8. Is that correct? If you make those changes, right?
If I was only one because I was going to go with 4 in midfield, so that would mean Neto would win anyway, and Neto
this is it.
So don't need to make two changes there. No need.
Wouldn't it be a safer bet just to go with Diaz, Salah, and Neto in the middle, and go 4 at the back?
No, because if one of those 2 do play, because people will some people because the FPL app, because I've just taken that screenshot just before we started, because the FPL app has not highlighted and the website have not highlighted that Zaha has a knock, because usually they put knock 50 or 75% likely to start, right, or to play or whatever. People will think there's nothing with Zaha, so they won't sell him. But Madison, people will react quickly, and if they have him, he's only owned by about 5 or 6% anyway, so differential for me at the moment. They'll sell him. So if I leave him in and he plays or does something, I've clawed back a few points on people. The prime example of this was a couple of seasons ago. You lot played Tottenham when they beat you. Was it 6-1 or 6-2 at Old Trafford? Son saw 2 and got an assist. But before the game, he was marked as injured and 50% likely to play.
Okay.
People sold him. But then I listened to Mourinho's press conference, and Mourinho said, he was talking in riddles. So I said, if I know Jose from back in the day, Chelsea, whatever, Inter, who are my Italian team, Real Madrid, he's been there as well, my Spanish team, he does these things in press conferences. So I said, Son's going to start. So because Son scored 2 and got 1, I had one in like the highest score in my league. And that time of the season, like that 2 seasons ago, I was up there. But now it's all gone pear-shaped with these Haalands and Jesus going Arsenal, these guys coming in and them getting points thus far. So this is my worst start in recent memory. Normally I'll start off really well, then I have that little drop off.
But that's just you being stubborn, refusing to put non-United, non-City, non-Arsenal players in.
I might say, well, last season I had Cancelo. I do sometimes City. I'll take one. I didn't used to pick them all, but back I had Aguero for a large portion of time a few seasons ago. But I had Cancelo last season. But it's what it is, isn't it? Remember, you were in the Justice League last season. I was 8 classic points. I finished level on points with D-Man, but he had more classic points to me by, I think it was 6 or 8, either or to me. That's how close I was to all my restrictions. So it's what it is.
I think D-Man's going to be a little bit more quiet on the DD Footy Factory pod tomorrow with this whole FPL stuff, because I heard what he said about me. Yeah, I heard what he said, and you know what? I can take.
Did you holler him? That was real cheeky.
I haven't, because it's still early days. It's not like with Rhodri, for example, who's like 80 points behind me already. Like, I can throw as much corn as I want at him because I'm clear.
How many transfers has Rhodri been doing?
Fuck knows, mate. Fuck knows. But he's on a mad one at the moment. Honestly, I don't know what's happening with him. And he's on 83 points. I'm on 193. So maybe I could just get the cigar out for a couple of weeks and give him a chance. Maybe I'll play a free hit and just play Bournemouth, Fulham, them teams, those kind of players. Just give him a chance to claw some pride back, because
you've had a decent start, man.
Bro, do you know what? It's like I said, I'm going to take this serious this season because of D-Man, because he chats a lot of crud, yeah? He chats a lot of crud. But when I see that...
People talk about the crud D-Man chats. Sam Cleaver messaged me the other day. He said, I tuned in, and the first thing I heard was D-Man giving the big one about FPL. Everyone says it. Everyone says it.
Yeah. But there's a long way to go, my friend. And the table is looking a bit peak at the moment because Mr. Rock Nation has got 9 points.
Well,
but still here. Huh?
He's top of the Justice League, isn't he?
Yeah, he's top. Not for long, though, because certain people are only 3 points behind him. Yeah? Coming for you, my friend. Don't worry. I've got receipts. Loads of receipts. Yeah? I'm not having this. My main aim is to finish above D-Man. I don't care where I finish in the table, as long as I'm above him. That's my main aim for the Justice League. Do you know what I mean?
Then you come and make your next appearance on the Footy on Top show and give it to him.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But see, the difference is I'm only going to give it to him. I'm not giving it to no one else. Because everyone's humble, apart from this guy. He needs to be like Andrew Tate. Like, he needs to be humbled, cancelled. He needs to come out with a grovelling apology. Oh boy! All right, let me show you my monstrosity of a team. This one, no. This one, no. This one, no. Orlan, boy. Okay. So this was my team from last week. I decided to get a little bit, because the week before I decided to get a bit brave. I went with Pereira, Dewsbury Hall, Salah, Odegaard in the middle of the park, thinking that maybe Pereira will get me some points against who was it? Wolves. Yeah. And I thought Dewsbury Hall might have a good game against, who did Leicester play? It was Arsenal.
Yeah.
And he failed me. And he failed me at the weekend against Southampton. But in this round, Trippier scored, lucky not to get sent off. Zinchenko got good points. Odegaard scored twice, as you know. Tony did well. Jesus did well. Haaland's got on the score sheet. But it's the 2 Liverpool players at the back which let me down. And the reason...
Jesus, you were unlucky because he had the goal ruled off for the tight offside.
Yep.
And obviously he was going to bang in the second goal, and then Odegaard literally took it off his toe. So you still benefited from that anyway. But
Yep.
people just have Jesus, they would have been cussing.
Well, bro, I picked Odegaard purely because number one, he's a captain, so he's guaranteed to play every time he's fit. And number two, I think that from a creative perspective, he's likely to get me more points from assists than Martinelli would with goals. That's my thinking.
Okay.
But at the moment, he's at level 1 goals with Martinelli. So that theory's gone out the window. But I'm going to go back to the Liverpool players, bro, because I've made not a substitution. I've made a transfer this week, and I've taken out one of the Liverpool players. Let me show you who I've taken out, and I'll tell you why I've taken him out. Who do you think I've taken out?
Robertson.
Yes, I have taken out Robertson, and I'll tell you why I've taken out Robertson. Purely on the basis that I believe that this weekend he's going to get a bit of a rest because he came off against United when Simica came on. Yeah. And I think this weekend against Bournemouth, he might be given a rest. That's the inkling I get. It's a gut feeling. So I brought in Perisic, who I believe will have a good game against Nottingham Forest. Yeah. And the other substitution I made, or should I say transfer, I took out Dewsbury Hall and I put in Rashford. Do you know what? That goal against Liverpool, and it wasn't because of the goal that he scored against Liverpool. It's the fact that United appear to have snapped out of whatever stupidness they're in, for now anyway. And against Southampton, with that back line, he's probably going to play centre forward because Martial's injured. So chances are he'll probably play centre forward. So he'll be higher up the pitch, and he won't be relying too much on the counter-attack, because when he's out wide, he's not... Okay, he is effective, but he's effective in a counter-attacking system. But it won't happen against Southampton because Southampton will defend very, very deep.
Yeah.
And it will be about United trying to break them down. And Rashford through the middle is much more effective than Rashford out wide when you're playing against a team with a very low block. So that's the reason why I've put him in. I've also taken another calculated gamble by putting Tony as my vice-captain. I have a feeling Jesus is going to score against Fulham. But I think that Tony will do well against Everton as well. Normally, I have Salah as either captain or vice-captain. But on this occasion, I think I'm going to stick with Tony. I'm still tempted to give it to Salah.
Yeah.
But, excuse me. Oh, bloody hell. So yeah, I'm going to give it to Tony this weekend.
That sneeze was your body telling you to give it to Salah.
Yeah, you reckon?
The timing. I was very tempted to go Kane, but I'm going to leave it with Salah because I'm thinking they're playing Bournemouth. He'll probably get taken off after 70 or 75 minutes because obviously there's games in midweek. But I'm thinking, yeah, I have to give it. We can't afford to rest him at the moment because we've got 10 injuries. So you know what I'm saying? This is the way.
Yeah, but you can't afford not to rest some players as well.
If I was using my wild card, I'd actually be a little, and brought in Harvey Elliott or Fabio Carvalho. Differentials, but I'm not using my wild card this week just yet. But because there's the
see, we've all got it. We've all got it now. One's sneezing, one's got wind.
We've all got it because there's the unlimited transfers during the World Cup. That's like having another wild card. So you have to use your first wild card before December ends.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'll be using it soon, but I'll probably time it. Probably midway I'll be looking to use it. So it's game week 16 finishes when the World Cup starts. So therefore, I'll probably be using my wild card between game weeks 8 to 10.
Yeah.
Around there.
When does Champions League start? 2 weeks, 10 days?
Real soon, because I think it's the week after. Yeah, week after next, because they've got to fit in all 6 game weeks before the World Cup, which is
Yeah.
crazy. You're going to have back-to-back weeks, Champions
Yeah.
League. It's insane, but it is what it is, isn't it?
So what I'm probably going to do, I'm probably going to wait until maybe week 8 or week 9 to use my wild card.
Yeah.
Because at least that way you will see which players are feeling a bit tired or whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I've been planning to do anyway.
Yeah.
But you never know, man. You just never know with this thing. And do you know what? I saw a tweet the other day. I can't remember who it was from, but they were talking about mental health and FPL, and I never realized how serious people take this fucking thing. Do you get what I'm saying?
I told you. That's why I have stages where I ease off, because I told you, you heard me one time, and I said, "Oh, this is going on in." This is going on. And I said, "Oh, in FPL as well." And I think maybe at the time you would have thinking, "What is FPL?" Because it's crazy. Like my gut will literally be telling me to pick somebody, and then I think, like even this last week, I've put it in my fantasy football files. danzigzags.co.uk. Shameless plug. Yeah, shameless plug. Product integration and all that, right? I put it in there. Anyone that knows me knows that for the last 2 seasons, for a bulk of the time, I've had Rodrigo Moreno in my team, because when he gets moved around all over the gaff, I know how good he is from ages ago. And season before the last World Cup, he banged, I think it was 25 little competitions, and he was up top for Spain with Diego Costa, right? But since then, they moved him deeper, etc. Moved him here, not banged as many goals. Leeds has done the same thing. They played him as an 8 sometimes. They played him as a 10, 8. But obviously, sometimes he's played as a false 9. With Rafinha gone, Jesse Marsh has been gassing him up. He's given him the captaincy because there's been no Cooper or Luke Ayling still injured. And he said that he's going to be on penalties as well until Bamford comes back. His confidence is up here right now. So last week, when I was making my changes, because I decided I'm going to take a -4, I was sitting there and I was thinking, if I rearrange it and go cheaper and I'd got Mitro in then, I could have got in Rodrigo in the midfield for Neto, because I was going to bench Neto anyway, right? He gets a goal and assist against Chelsea. I would say no one was expecting that, but obviously a few people were, because he still got transferred in my bag of people. But I would assume because of his price and their opponent, they would probably benched him and then look to play him now for this nice run of games that Leeds have got. And he's gone and he's got all their points. I know Rod got him in, but Rod make a better transfers anyway, so he literally gave the points back. You know? So sitting, I was like, I could have either upgraded Neto, or I could have got him in instead of Luis Diaz, and that would have left me with 1.8 million in the bank for Diaz to go and flip him blank against United, you know? So I understand the mental thing, because you're sitting there and and obviously everyone's got different things going on in their life. So sometimes you just find solace in your FPO team doing something, even though you know fully well, unless you're playing in the league for money, or you get a ridiculously high score to get manager of the week or month or whatever, or you get a little trophy sent to you from FPL, like you're gonna beat yourself up about it.
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, it's basic as a game and whatnot." It's a very serious business.
Yeah.
And now everyone's getting into it now. Still flipping Sky Sports have got a flipping FPL.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, it took you almost 10 years, but yeah, you got there eventually.
But yeah, so it's going to be one of those weekends where you're going to be glued to the results, and every time that there's a goal, you're wishing that it's one of your players. I'm not going to lie to you, mate. Ever since I started doing this, obviously it's this season anyway. I'm sorry, let me start that again, because I'm slurring my words right now, like I'm some kind of drunk freak. Ever since I've been taking this serious, I've actually enjoyed football more. It's weird. It's actually really weird. Really weird.
Oh,
are you there?
It's all bad. It's all bad.
All right, let's bring up the fixtures for the weekend then, because I think we're running on fumes at the moment, bro. Running on fucking fumes.
You just touched on your game with Southampton, though I believe your score, Southampton, you lot aerially, I think, can be got at. Shea Adams is in form. And Ward Prowse's set pieces. If no one's made their transfers already, I'd get Ward Prowse in.
Okay.
Free, kick,
Fair enough.
free kicks and penalties and corners, and he's only, 6.5 million. I'd get Ward Prowse.
What about Chelsea and Leicester? Chelsea are going to be without Koulibaly. He's suspended, isn't he? Leicester got a bag of injuries at the moment. They're in free fall.
Yeah.
But then again, Chelsea are in a similar kind of situation in the sense that they can't get a win at the moment anyway. They were absolutely abysmal against Leeds. I don't think Leicester are going to do the same thing as Jesse Marsh did in terms of the high pressing and the aggression. I think Ellen Road played a big part in that as well in terms of the atmosphere. But
this is the thing, though. This is why I was leaving that money in the bank, because I was considering. Well, as I said, I'm going to sell Everson, but I wanted to get a keeper in because I'm worried about whether or not Danny Ward can do anything against Chelsea. But obviously now with the midfield issues that I have, I'll probably have to leave that till next week. I see both scoring here. Chelsea will. Well, but if this is the thing, if Rodgers had all these people fit, he would play three at the back.
Yeah.
You might see Yannick Vestergaard tomorrow.
Yeah, possibly.
Because he played in the cup midweek. Remember, he's only £4 million in FPL. I mean, he's only 4 million. So,
what about Soyuncu though? Isn't he going to play?
Probably. Look, well, apparently Chelsea have agreed a fee for Fofana. Apparently, within the last hour or two. So, you would expect Soyuncu to come in, but I don't know what's happened there, because Soyuncu was a regular. I know last season he started very poorly, but I'm not sure what's going on there. I still have him in there. But yeah, Leicester, I'm so surprised they've not made any real signings. I mean, the window closes soon. So I would like them to be more active. Yeah, I see quite a few both teams to score games tomorrow. And even, obviously, you said you sold Robertson. You're in playing Liverpool right about now. As atrocious as they were against Arsenal, Liverpool are yet to play with that same intensity that Arsenal played with last week. Liverpool moving the ball really slowly. They're having a bag of passes, but they're not penetrating. So Bournemouth are going to come. They're going to want everyone behind the ball. Remember, Scott Parker's the manager. He came when he last played Liverpool with Fulham. It was a master. The home game was a masterclass in counter-attacking football. Bobby Reed, Carvalho breaking. And then when they beat us 1-0, though half of our team was out injured, it was a brilliant performance. Their spacing, exactly. He'll set up like this well, but people behind the ball and try and get Kiefer Moore into some set pieces. So you look at it and you think Liverpool should batter them, but Liverpool aren't with them at the moment. So it's not. It's not a gimme day. It looks like it is on paper, and especially a couple of weeks ago, it's not. The gimme there. So you probably made sense to sell. I'm very skeptical about having a double at the back anyway. I've had 3 players from one team before, and then they've conceded a goal in the 89th minute. And I've literally punched the door in my front room. Yeah, it's that real.
Control the rage, mate. Control the rage.
You probably remember that goal. Remember when Wilson scored? Or was it Willock? Was it Wilson or Willock that scored that late goal against Liverpool? A couple when we drew 1-1 with Newcastle season before, when we
I can't remember.
We played them towards the back end of the season. 1-1. Either Wilson or Willock scored like in, I say 89th minute. I think it was in 90th minute actually.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, enough. Liverpool tripling up at the back. I'm not sure of it. It was working wonders for some people. A couple of years ago in the No Trough Test League, Steve was tripling up on Sheffield United players, and it was doing the job.
That's right. That's right. I'll tell you what, I'm glad you mentioned the No Choftes League. Let's bring that up on the screen right now, just to see it in all its glory. Because as you can see right at the bottom, Mr. Omonia Killers, he didn't do too bad. He got the average for last week, which was 48. So he was on average. But look at Chris in fourth place. He's stumbling now. He's falling. He had Raheem Sterling. He had who else did he have? He had Cucurella in his team. This is a guy that was putting fucking Diego Dallo in at the start. Come on, I can't take man serious when they do stuff like that. Honestly, like what would possess people to put Diego Dallo in? You know, if he's not going to concede a goal, he's going to give away a free kick at leads to a goal, or he's going to get a booking. Cancelo got 0 points for him. Trent got 0. Cucurella got 1. Ward got 1. I mean, to be honest, he captained Sterling. He captained Sterling.
People have had a back four of Robertson, Trent, Reece James, and Cancelo. That would have got them a grand total of what, 3 points between the four of them?
Yeah. I've seen people back fives with Zinchenko in there as well. It's mad. It's all mad. But top of the table is Mr. Zaharil, the Omonia winger. Came on yesterday against Ghent. Picked up a yellow card, a naughty little boy. But yeah, he got 43 points last week. He had Trent, Cancelo, Walker, and James at the back. A total of 2 points. he captained Jesus, I got him 8. He had Haaland at vice captain, got him 6 points.
Yeah.
Salah got 8. He's got Bailey there, got him 5 points.
Yeah.
Luis Diaz got 2. Martinelli got 6. Had he not captained Jesus, it would have been peak, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. So he would have been fuming at Odegaard taking that goal off of him.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, it would have bothered me because I had him as my captain.
Yeah,
so
both, but imagine that being what cost you if you're in a head-to-head league, and that being what cost you, it would be ripping your hair off it.
No, 100. Well, what was left of it anyway.
So you lost by a couple of points, you'll be ripping your hair out.
Yeah. And we got yourself in 5th. So you're climbing up the table slowly. You're above Mr. Air.
Usually, what am I on? 140, 146. Usually by this time, still I've got at least 170 by this time. Usually, sheer minimum. I've got 170. So yeah, struggling. But yeah, I had a talk with Sam Cleaver, as I was saying when he hollered about D-Man, and I was like, I'm contemplating -4, but I don't want to do it. And he said, you know what? Both of us are struggling. So if we've barely got any points, you might as well take a hit and try and rectify it. And I said, you know what? You're right. If I had a bag of points, I think I've worked so hard to get those points. I say, like I'm on the pitch, but you're down there. So you might as well try something rather than just sitting there. Then you should flop again. But so I'm annoyed because I could have taken a minus. I was not taking a minus at all. And Brendan Johnson outscored Tony, but I would have wanted Tony for this stretch anyway. So, you
know. Yeah. Well, the thing is, the approach I'm taking this season is I'm going to try not to make transfers unless I really need to, if players are injured, for example, or if I see a weekend where I think, all right, there's 1 or 2 players that can perform and I'll bring them in. Yeah. I think I'm being more savvy this season. So I've still got money in the bank.
Yeah.
And the players that I'm going to transfer out, I'm going to transfer them like the week after. So for example, Rashford here, if he doesn't have a good game against Southampton, chances are I'll transfer him out and bring someone else in. Or I might not even make another transfer and wait because I've made 2 transfers because I didn't make a transfer last week and it carries over, doesn't it? So you can make maximum of 2 free transfers if you time it right. Yeah. So I'm keeping a core group of players: Haaland, Jesus, Tony. Tony hasn't let me down. Salah, Odegaard, Trent. Trent's going to improve. It's just a little blip at the moment. Trippier, he's going to play regularly in a Newcastle team that, okay, forget City of the weekend. They're not going to concede 3 a game. Do you get what I'm saying? Ederson will get you clean sheets, and Zinchenko's been a revelation. So I'm keeping a core group of players. I'm only going to change 1 or 2 if need be. But this is Dewsbury Hall's final week for me, man. That's it. I'm done with him, to be honest. Like, I don't think I'm going to put him back.
But yeah, you missed out on the Pereira points for it. But,
Yeah.
he was on
Yeah, I know.
he was on the app and the website marked as only having a 75% chance of playing. So if I've seen some people had him in their starting lineup, so differential because he got 8 points, and those are the ones at his price range. Because the whole bag of people have got him have just got him to sit on the bench because he's an enabler. But if you start these guys, like I had Nico Williams in my starting lineup last week, he gets booked as usual. Even when he was at Liverpool, he used to get booked. But he almost scored twice. The first one was a good save by Pickford. The second one was a bullet that just went past the post. He looks really good. Being a wing back, that he suited because he used to be a winger anyway. He suited
Yeah.
to like when he was in our back four because then that allowed him to get exposed. But as a wing back, he looks like he's going to score every game. That's how Livramento started, but he was in the back four last season for Southampton. Looked every game threatening going down that right hand side. So Nico will get more starts than expected, and Patterson as well. Everton played in a wing back role too. He gets forward, so there's some value. If you persist with them, there will eventually be value in these 4 million guys that will open up space to get your premium players in, or like your mid level players in terms of price.
Well, mate, I'm still waiting for Guimaraes to get started because I put him on the bench intentionally this weekend because last weekend because I had the feeling he would get a yellow card, and lo and behold, he got a yellow card.
Yellow card.
So I don't know. Again, I was thinking about putting him in this weekend, but they're playing Wolves, and Wolves are very technical in the middle of the park, and I don't think he's going to like it. I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to get stuck in again, man.
Though he started the cup game midweek, so I don't know whether or not that means that he will be rotated through this period of games. Joe Willock is much cheaper than Guimaraes, and he's starting. And season before last, Willock scored, was it 6 or 7 games in a row? Match breaking Alan Shearer's Newcastle record. So when he gets his first one in, because he's a rhythm guy, he's going to start going. He's doing a lot of box-to-box work at the moment, helping out defensively. But once he starts getting into the box, because he's not bashful, who have a shot, that could be a major difference because he's only 5 million right about now. So there's guys out. I'm annoyed because when I did my drafts before the season started, I had Jack Harrison in there, and then I took him out. Once I rearranged it because Jota got injured and I had him up top because I was thinking Klopp will do what he usually does and slowly bring in new signings. So I expected Nunes to come off the bench. So I actually had Jota in my team. But then once Jota got injured this season, I rearranged it and took Harrison out. Harrison has a goal and 3 assists in the opening 3 games. He's owned by like 2 or 3%. Those are the differentials that get there.
Well, I'll tell you this now. I know exactly what transfer I'm going to make next week from the off, and that obviously depends on if the player doesn't pick up an injury or sending off. I'm probably next week going to transfer out Guimaraes and put in Eze. Because I think Palace have got Brentford next week.
What's it called? Eze is he looks decent value right about now. He's decent value, man. He's what, 5.5 million? Yeah, man. That's what it's all about, forward planning and think about your budget, man. Because when you've got money in the bank, you can pull out and do something mad on someone that they're not expecting. Because some people they're just predictable what they're going to do, but like I knew straight away people were going to go from Kane to Haaland. I was,
which is what I did.
Because Kane.
I swapped.
Because Kane went down 0.1 million, Haaland went up 0.1 million. So it was obvious that if you've got the money in the bank, you're going to make that change immediately. And Haaland's got 3 in 3 games, so he's returning at the moment. But Pepper said once the fixtures kick in, which will be now because there's a weekend game and a midweek game, Haaland will be rotated soon, and then obviously Champions League will come soon. So he said Alvarez will be playing. So these are the things. Also, as well, in the fullback position, Conte, it's wing backs. Conte has spoken about Perisic's fitness. So Session is going to be playing a lot of games soon because Champions League is coming back. Even
Mm.
Chelsea might start against Villa on Sunday, not Villa, Forest on Sunday because the midweek game. You see it. So I strongly doubt Perez will start both games. So when this rotation kicks in, that's when we're going to find out because it's going to be very important to have a strong 15 because one of your guys might not play and then
Yep.
you need one of them bench guys to be plugged in to get you the points. So we'll see how it goes. It's
I,
about interesting.
I'll tell you someone to look out for, and you know this player already. Damsgaard, 5.5 million.
Yeah,
Tell you
yeah.
what,
The last one, yeah. On the that was yeah.
I'll tell
Yep.
you what, he's going to be a player.
Damsgaard's a good player. So yeah, there's a few options. Even Aronson at Leeds, he's American, so obviously Jesse Marsh would have known him from before. He's going to gas him up and tell him he's better than he is. He's got 2 goals in 3 games.
Yeah.
The region there. If you get a very good, how much is Pascal Grosch? 6 million, and he's
Let's
got
have a look. Anyway.
pieces and whatnot for Brighton. He assisted last game. There's decent value. Trossard 6.5. There's decent value in them guys rather than going for like Bowen's not in form at the moment. He's was 8.5. I think he's gone down to 8.4 now. There's value out there. You just have to. Obviously, some people don't have the time. You just have to sit there and just go through things. Listen out for press conferences and just make sure you check the starting lineups and catch whatever highlights you can to see how teams set out and whatever and sneak some people in there. I've liked since he's come, I've liked him. Veltman just quietly points for Brighton, just quietly. So we'll see. Undav scored up top. Undav scored in their League Cup game midweek. So he's gone down to 5.4 million, I think. I think Potter will start starting him soon. Obviously, Welbeck's first choice, but he'll start starting him soon. Might even use him against Leeds. And
Possibly.
He'll start getting points. Yeah, there's real options out there. But Brighton, Leeds, Brighton, Leeds, and Brentford have got some decent fixtures coming up. And obviously Arsenal, but I don't pick Arsenal players. So
we know this. We know this. All right. So come on. If you look at your team, obviously, you know you're still contemplating a few, one or two changes anyway, whether it be team selection or transfers.
yeah.
How many points are you aiming to get this weekend?
Oh God, you know what? In a utopian society, I'd like to say that I get my highest score this season so far. But because of the injuries, I would say mid-50s. I would take mid-50s because of the injuries that I have. Because I'm expecting 2 goal contributions from Mo Salah, and with him as my captain. So yeah, I'm looking mid-50s. I wanted to look. I looked at the fixtures. I thought, you know what? Highest score of the season. Get well over 60, but I have to take early to mid-50s because I honestly don't know who's going to start. Because even if Zaha and Madison, especially Madison, because since he had that hip operation a couple seasons ago, Rodgers has used him. He's really kept an eye on the way he's used him. If he's got a muscle injury, he's probably not going to start, which will be Neto will come in for me. If Zaha's out too, then that means Patterson will be coming in off the bench the way our team looks at the moment. So I'm sitting here. I'll probably be pondering a -4 up until about 10:58. We'll be doing the show 11 o'clock, you know. So
Yeah, you're right.
yeah,
You're right. Well, I know my opponent in the Justice League has got Salah as vice captain and Jesus as his regular captain. So just for that, I'm going to make Salah my vice captain. So we get level points in that respect.
You might change. Deadline ain't come yet.
Yeah, true. But what are the chances he's going to do that?
If he's on it, very high.
You think?
Liverpool playing Bournemouth, Arsenal at home to Fulham. So it's a coin toss. It's 50-50 whether or not he keeps it the same or not. He might go to Salah.
Yeah, this is going to be literally a last-minute decision from me.
This is the problem with the head-to-head, because if you were just doing a classic league, you wouldn't care. You'd just do what your initial reaction is, but then you look at someone else's team and then that just discombobulates you. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Ash got a bag of more points than me, but he's lost all these 3 games in the Justice League because
Booze, yeah.
it's all the luck of the draw. You get me and D-Man had more points than Sam last season. Sam came second in the Justice League. So it all depends on the draw and the order you get people.
Well, look, me and Kojo got the most points last week. Just saying, you know.
Look at this.
Kojo, see, Kojo's on it as well. Fucking
Yeah,
hell.
because he's playing for Kojo and E-Man because he's playing for money, innit? You don't pay.
Shit.
You don't give £20 to play in the league and then thought about. You got to be on the ball. You have to be. You have to be on the ball. You can't just sit there and just fart about. Like you got to be on it because bare people use it as an excuse. Like, oh yeah, this happened and that happened and blah blah. But I know a bag of people that have got. I know some people that work for abroad a lot of the time and play FPL and still keep their team up to date. A lot of people have got kids that play FPL and still get teams on that. And people are always using this as excuses. If you've paid money, you better be on the ball, otherwise your magic just go. Get me?
The oracle is broken. Oh, Jesus. Well, mate, we've been going on 3/4 of an hour, man. Do you want to do your socials and all that?
Huh?
Do you want to do your socials and all that? We wrap it up.
Socials. Oh goodness, on there. But if you haven't been able to read it, at Double D, that's DUBULDEE, and I am part of the D&D Football Factory, and we are at DD Footy Factory _ on Twitter and on Instagram, and we do the sporadic, sporadic podcast. It should be more often, but
it should be more often.
It's hard. It's hard to get the two together. Yeah, but we go live every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Top FM 95.5 FM in London. But if you're not in London, if you're in Stel's for instance,
tune in radio.
The TuneIn app or the Simple Radio app, whether you've got an iPhone or Android or whatever, and just search on Top FM on there. Live Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. Me, D-Man, Big Sam. We're on tomorrow morning actually, but by the time some of you might be watching that, it might be the morning already.
Well, if I put the audio up straight away, it will appear in their feed if they subscribe to Shoot the Defense. Just saying, you know.
There you go. Shoot the Defense, baby. Doing good things for the people. Yeah,
of course.
Feeding the kids and all sorts.
We got that far, man. Jesus.
And as I said, that's a pod, danzigzags.co.uk. You can read the fantasy football files after every game week. Just a little my blog, but also as well, I'm summarizing my game that week in the Justice League, what me and Stel have been talking about, which is the money league that we play in. And more often than not, if someone does something really great in the Justice League, like Stel did a couple of weeks back, so I mentioned him in there, they get a mention as well, just like a little blog. Like
FPL, I didn't get a mention this week, even though I've got the most points with Kojo. You know.
But when you did bits that look, behave yourself. But yeah, man. So yeah, just a bit of fun. Sometimes satirical. Some really good jokes in the game week 3 one actually, you know. But if I say what they are, I'll be spoiling it.
And the thing is, when I read your blog, I can sense the pain, you know, the tone when you're writing and you're saying "damn" or this or that.
Yeah. And you see the little speech marks on that. Yeah, I want to tap into the people that lose it, that punch doors and break things like this. I dashed my keys one time and all the key rings broke.
No, mate, you need to sort out that rage. Sort it out. Well, that's it, boys and girls. Thank you for listening. I hope your minds are much clearer now as to what to do in the morning when you listen to this. Obviously, hopefully by the time you listen to this, you will still have time to make any amendments to your team.
Yeah,
but yeah, we'll be back next week at some point, hopefully next Thursday. So at least we'll do it a day before today. And yeah, that's it for another FPL war. Hope I get more points than Rod again this week. I probably will.